All right. We're going to call this July 19th City of Indianola Council meeting to order. If you will please stand and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
We need to call Councilwoman Schroeder.
Perfect. Let's call her. Did I jump too fast? Sorry.
No.
This is Gwen.
Hey Gwen, it's everybody in the council chambers.
Hi, everyone.
They're all waiting.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I thought I would be able to Zoom, but sorry, I can't. I don't have any internet right now. So anyway, can I just switch on? Or you just put it in?
Yep, that works.
Okay, got it.
Gwen, we've called the meeting to order and already said the pledge. So now we're going to do roll call. Jackie, please.
Councilmember Hewlin. Here. Parker. Kling.
Here.
Schroeder.
Present.
Southall. Here. Marchant.
Present.
Mayor Pepper.
Here. Thank you. Next item is open forum. Anybody here wishing to speak about something not on our agenda, please feel free to fill out a sheet, come forward, state your name and your address. If it's something on the agenda, we'll cover it when we get there. Seeing none, hearing none, we'll move on to consent agenda. Before we jump into that, a motion on that, we need to pull some things. There's a couple items we need to pull. So I want to just pull approval of agenda first. We can go through the rest of consent and then we'll come back and approve the agenda. And I also heard we need to pull claims. So
Yes,
those are two things. Anybody else need anything else pulled? Okay. So I need a motion to remove those two things from the agenda first.
I move to remove items A and B from the agenda.
Perfect. Is there a
Second.
Okay. Jackie?
Councilmember Marchant.
Aye.
Hewlin.
Aye.
Parker. Oh, sorry. Kling.
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
Southall.
Aye.
Motion carries. So then we can, let's see. Then I gotta tell what we're removing. No,
We just did that.
we did.
Wait.
No, I haven't said what we're removing
Oh,
yet.
okay, yeah. Say we were moving to motion to remove that from the agenda.
Then we gotta approve the agenda. So
Right.
now we're going to approve the agenda with those two things removed at this point.
I so move.
Second? Second. Okay. Jackie?
Councilmember Schroeder.
Aye.
Southall.
Aye.
Marchant.
Aye.
Hewlin.
Aye.
Kling.
Aye.
And the two items that we removed, just so you know, is 7B1. So let me just read that to you. That is consideration of the appointment of Paula Chu to serve on the Hometown Pride Committee for a term beginning immediately and ending June 30, 2022. She asked for us to pull that. And then the other one that was pulled was 9A3, and that is resolution approving and authorizing execution of a development agreement by and between the City of Indianola and Johansson Enterprises LLC. Petitioner has requested for this to be withdrawn, so that's what we removed. Okay?
Okay.
So now I think we need to approve claims.
We need to approve the agenda as amended with those two items.
Eric?
Motion to approve the agenda as amended, removing those two items.
Thank you. Sorry.
Second.
Jackie, please.
Councilmember Hewlin.
Aye.
Kling.
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
Southall.
Aye.
Marchant.
Aye. And then motion to approve claims.
Motion carries. Okay, second on the claims. Okay. Jackie?
Councilmember Hewlin.
Abstain.
Kling.
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
Southall.
Aye.
Marchant.
Aye.
Motion carries. Ryan, do you want to give us some highlights on some of the consent agenda items?
Yes, thank you,
please?
Mayor. You're setting 2 public hearings, both pertaining to some economic development activity, approving just several liquor licenses, and then there's a number of items that have come before the council for approval previously. So you could have a couple ordinances that are in second and third reading. And then there is approval of a plat. Now, it's not within the city, but it is within the city's 2-mile planning jurisdiction. So that is something that planning and zoning reviews and make sure it's in conformance with our regulations as well as our comp plan.
Thank you for that. Next item is the city treasurer's report. Doug Schultz here.
You are so quick. Report that's in front of you, Mayor and City Council, is for the year ended June 30, 2021. So this is the 12-month report, and I guess we could call it the end. What I did compare, I went back to June 30th of 2020 and compared it, the fund balances to the June 30th of 2021, and I would call it, and boy, it's with my approval, it's something I really agree with, but you have grown the fund balances, which to me is very, very important. And so I would just say you've had a fantastic year. Let's see, it's probably led by the police budget. It's up over last year about 600,000. And let's see, after that, there's a couple of them like the library, it's up maybe 178,000. And the general government's up about 330. Another one is the local option sales tax, which we talk about a lot. And it's really up about 2.2 million, but there was a transfer out of $1.5 million. And I'm sure that was for a reason for the sewer plant or whatever. And let's see, I don't know if there's anything really special other than that. And then down below where it says investments in the lower left-hand corner, this year we've got some almost 37 million. And last year at this time we had 27 million. So that kind of reflects the growth up through the various funds. Let's see, the interest rate at Bankers Trust this year is a whole lot better than it was last year. It's 1.72 and it was 0.21. Other than that, the interest rates are very, very similar. That would be my report.
Okay, questions for Mr. Schultz? Okay,
Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Okay.
Jackie, please.
Councilmember Hewlin,
Aye.
Kling,
Aye.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall, Marchant.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank
Deb.
you.
Appreciate that so much. All right, on to council reports. Metro Advisory Report. Bob Kling.
The Metro Advisory Council met last Tuesday, and the 2 main things that were discussed, there were some other things, but the 2 things that really were important items. The first one was the American Rescue Plan. Already 500 cities have applied. There are a lot of questions from cities about what it could be used for. One thing that was brought out is that the law is very clear that states have no control over that money, which is a good thing, as some of the governors have cut off some of the other federal pandemic monies that's available to citizens. But in this instance, basically the states are just a pass-through organization. So, and they're in charge of getting the money out, but they have no control over that. It was real interesting because we ran around and discussed who was doing what with the money and what plans they had. And from the discussions we had about what the metro cities may be using their share of the money, it was quite obvious that Indianola is far ahead of anybody, because many of the other council members and mayors said, well, we don't know, we're just gonna start looking into what are some of the possibilities. And Ryan and his staff, because of the studies that we've done, by March had an idea what this could be used for. So, and I said, we are really far ahead of the other cities in the metro. And a little story in the paper, the Register even kind of alluded to that. The other item for discussion wasn't even on the agenda, and we spent a lot of time on that because other cities brought up this topic, and that's the topic of fireworks. All the metro cities feel that they're between a rock and a hard place on this issue. And one of the councilmen from the metro said, this is the problem that the state has really dumped in our laps. And it was very obvious from the complaints that cities received, it did not make it whether your city banned fireworks or not. It was an issue in all the cities. In fact, some of the council, there were council members who were there whose cities banned the fireworks, but they believed what happened, it forced people to the public areas and parks of the city rather than from their homes, and created a different problem. Cities that allowed fireworks complained that people were not sticking to legal hours to shoot them. Some said it's obvious the state allows much larger and more explosive consumer fireworks, but the general consensus from everybody on these councils and the advisory committee said, when citizens complain about fireworks, they need to call or email the majority of party at the state who allowed fireworks in the first place, because banning them is not going to make much difference. So, and that was kind of ending our discussion.
Okay. Questions for Bob on his report? Nice to hear Indianola's ahead of the
Yes,
curve.
yeah.
Love that. All right, well then we'll move on to Hometown Pride Committee nominations. We have several, I think that's great. And we have a Board of Adjustment, so we'll just roll through those. Consideration of the appointment of Michelle Howland Sheridan to serve on the Hometown Pride Committee for a term beginning immediately and ending June 30, 2022. I don't know if Michelle's here. She is. Say hello. Okay.
Move to approve.
Second. Okay. Questions, comments? Jackie?
Councilmember Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin,
Aye.
Kling,
Aye.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall.
Motion carries. Welcome aboard, Michelle. Glad to have you. Next one is the consideration of the appointment of Mindy Blanchard to serve on the Hometown Pride Committee for a term beginning immediately and ending June 30, 2022.
So moved. Second.
I don't know if Mindy's here. Okay. Okay. Jackie?
Councilmember Kling,
Aye.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall. Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin.
Aye. Motion carries. Welcome aboard, Mindy. Consideration of the appointment of Catherine Newcomer to serve on the Hometown Pride Committee for a term beginning immediately and ending June 30, 2022.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Jackie?
Councilmember Hewlin.
Aye.
Kling,
Aye.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall. Marchant.
Aye.
Motion carries. Catherine, I don't know if you're here. Okay. Welcome aboard, Catherine. And then we have consideration of the appointment of Lee Bash to serve on the Board of Adjustment for a term beginning immediately and ending June 30, 2026.
Move to approve.
Second.
Lee, you here? Nope. Okay. Jackie?
Councilmember Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall. Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin.
Aye.
Kling.
Aye.
Motion carries. Welcome aboard, Lee. Thanks for stepping forward. We greatly appreciate all of our volunteers. All right, on to the mayor's report. I have a couple of things. First, I noticed we have a Boy Scout in the house, and I like Boy Scouts. Please stand up, introduce yourself. Tell us what troop you're with.
Hi, my name is Garrett. I'm with Troop 123.
Great. And you're here to finish up a merit badge, aren't you?
Yeah. Citizenship.
That's great. Welcome aboard. We're glad you're here. All right, and then the entire council and myself wanted to offer our condolences. John Parker's not here. Our condolences to his family. His father-in-law passed away. So we are thinking of all of that Weeks Parker family. Storm, mention all their names, sorry. And then just another little note, I was thinking this weekend about our 5-year-old little friend, Knox Billiou. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly. He is a young man who's suffering from brain cancer. They did a fundraiser over the weekend, and just letting people know if you want to contribute it, True Bank is handling that, so you can make a donation through them. But we wish him all the best and health here. And then our friends at the Balloons have an exciting new piece coming up this Thursday. It's a sky parade, kind of exciting. Thursday, 6:30 on the square. They are encouraging folks to eat, shop, be on the square Thursday evening. The balloons are going to fly over the square, so if you can join us, please, please, please come out. And as I mentioned the last time, this is an exciting time for our city. Balloons, fair, and the opera all happening. Lots of people will be in our community, help point people in the right direction, welcome them to our city, answer their questions, talk about how great our city is. All those things are good ideas. And that's all I got for you tonight. Any comments, questions? All right, we're moving on to community update. Proclamation declaring July as the Independent Retailer Month in Indianola. If I could talk. So that proclamation is, whereas according to the U.S. Small Business Administration, small businesses employ approximately 47.3% of the U.S. population. Amazing, truly. And whereas Claire Rayner, the retail champion, created Independent Retailer Month to highlight the role small and local businesses play in a thriving community. And whereas Indianola and Warren County are home to many independent retailers who support our community, sponsor events, and employ our workforce, all while providing high-quality products and services. And whereas local businesses keep a sense of culture and community alive in our town and create a more sustainable city. Therefore, I, Mayor Pam Pepper, do hereby proclaim July 2021 as Independent Retailer Month in the city of Indianola. And I thank heartily all the retailers for building their businesses in Indianola. I further encourage consumers to shop local at our hometown stores, businesses, and farmers markets. In witness whereof, I have hereto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Indianola, Iowa, this 19th day of July 2021. All right, on to old business. 407 North Jefferson Way. We have to have a public hearing on an application for exemption of a sign code at 407 North Jefferson Way.
Motion to open public hearing.
Second. Jackie, please.
Councilmember Hewlin.
Aye.
Kling.
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
Southall. Aye. Marchant.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're now in a public hearing. Typically, we have a little overview, and here's Charlie. Hi,
Yes.
Charlie.
Good evening. Charlie DeSalle, Community and Economic Development Director. Sign exemption that's being requested here is for a new business that's going to be locating at this address. Essentially, what they're looking to do is put a new sign panel in the existing frame. So by code in the C2 zoning district, you have to have a sign setback 20 feet from the right of way. The existing sign is set back 5 feet, so it does not meet the code. But again, they are just requesting to fill the existing cabinet with a new sign. So any questions, would be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody here wishing to speak about this? Okay. We could go.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second. Okay. Jackie.
Councilmember Hewlin.
Aye.
Kling.
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
Southall. Aye. Marchant.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. So then that leads us to a resolution accepting the application for exemption of the sign code at 407 North Jefferson Way.
Move to approve.
Second. Jackie, please.
Councilmember Marchant.
Aye.
Hewlin.
Aye.
Kling.
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
Southall. Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We need to have a public hearing on an application for exemption of a sign code at 123 South Howard Street.
Motion to go into public hearing. Second.
Okay. Jackie, please.
Councilmember Hewlin.
Aye.
Kling.
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
Southall. Aye. Marchant.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are now in a public hearing, but we'll start first with the highlights from Charlie.
Yes, so this one is pretty much the exact same scenario as the first one. This one's at Howard Street there and first for the Edward Jones Company. So you can see the existing sign here on the left, new sign that they're proposing to put up on the right with some brick on the bottom there. Same words and everything like that, but C3 zoning district, same as the C2 district, requires a 20-foot setback. This one is currently set back about 10 feet.
Okay.
Any questions? Would be happy to answer them.
Questions? Okay. Thank you. Anybody else here wanting to talk about this issue? Seeing none, hearing none.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, Jackie, please.
Councilmember Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin,
Aye.
Kling,
Aye.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall. Aye.
Motion carries. That then leads to a resolution accepting the application for exemption of the sign code at 123 South Howard Street.
Move to approve.
Second.
Comments, questions?
I'd say that's a nice looking sign. Yeah.
Jackie, please.
Councilmember Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin,
Aye.
Kling,
Aye.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall. Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. On to new business. Approval of sewer credit for Agriland FS in the amount of $4,120.
Move to approve.
Second. Okay. Questions, comments, explanation?
Sure. So city policy allows for staff to authorize credits that we can prove for 1,000 and below, which is why it's before the council, because it is more than $1,000. IMU notified us that on March 16th, an employee who no longer works at IMU changed the rate plan from water only to water and sewer. They verified, they and Rick on our sewer team verified that this, the water that was used does not go down in the sewer. And so staff recommends the credit of $4,120.
Okay. Jackie, please.
Councilmember Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin,
Aye.
Kling,
Aye.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall. Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. On to city manager's report. First one is receive and file the fiscal year 22 community development work program. I think Charlie's going to talk about that.
Yes. Do that.
Okay, as the council is aware, May of 2020, we adopted the comprehensive plan, Elevate Indianola. As part of that, there was 164 implementation measures that were adopted as part of that plan. We started this work plan last year because the comp plan did identify that community development should get into a work plan where every year we're kind of planning out how these implementation measures are enacted, and then the Planning and Zoning Commission reviews those. So Planning and Zoning Commission did meet last week, did approve the work plan. I just want to give some high level kind of updates on where we are in these implementation measures. So they're split out into 4 different terms: short term, medium term, long term, and then ongoing. Our focus last year was on the short term ones. We did complete 21% of those last year. So they're meant to be over 5 years. So we're just a 1% over pace right now on that. So that's good. On the medium term ones, those are 5 to 10 years. We got about 7% of those done. So a little bit under, but we do plan on kind of catching up with that next year. So with the one for FY22, we did identify 29 short-term measures. Some of those were carried over from last year because we didn't fully complete those. And then we have also identified 6 medium-term ones that we'll be working on. So just wanted to give council an update kind of where we're on that and answer any questions if you have them.
Questions for Charlie?
Comment, I think it's really well laid out. I think it's something that's a great working document. I think it's going to help all of us be on the same page. So
And
nice
pretty
job.
extensive too, I thought of going through that, so.
But don't print it on a color printer.
I say, I like the graph.
That's why we stick to digital.
But yeah, great job to everybody that participated in that.
All right.
Great, thank you. Brian, I'm sorry, it's your time for this report.
No,
I
no,
just
that's
called
quite
Charlie.
right. No, I think the important part of what Charlie just talked about was that we have a plan, and it's not a plan that's sitting on the shelf. It's actually being used and executed on. And certainly the phase 1 is a huge part of that plan as well. So the phase 1 of the zoning code updates, which were approved under consent. So kudos to the Planning and Zoning Commission. I know they spend a lot of hours, and then staff, obviously. So other than that, I just have receive and file the correspondence.
We need to make a motion.
Oh, you did that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So then that's all I have.
We need to motion to receive and file the community development work program.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I move to receive and file the FY22 Community Development Work Program.
I'll second it.
Jackie.
Councilmember Marchant,
Aye.
Hewland. Aye. Kling.
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
Southall.
Aye.
Perfect, thank you. Motion carries. And
Then we can.
Receive and
motion to
file.
Receive and file correspondence from July 2nd, July 9th, 2021, and weekly updates from city manager Ryan Wall.
Second.
Okay. Jackie?
Councilmember Hewland. Aye. Kling.
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
Southall.
Aye.
Marchant.
Aye.
Motion carries. We now have two items that we need to go into closed session for. So can I read both of them?
Nope.
They got to, so will we go into one, out, back in, back out? Okay, just double checking. So two of those, but we also have council study afterwards. So those of you that want to stay for that, which we do, I know have some guests that are going to be a part of that, they can go to our overflow room.
So, Brian, you mind?
Oh, thank you, Brian. All right, let's first go into, we need to enter into closed session in accordance with Iowa Code, Section 21.51C, to discuss strategy with legal counsel in matters that are presently in litigation or where litigation is imminent and where its disclosure would be likely to prejudice or disadvantage the government.
Motion to go into closed session.
Second. Okay, Jackie?
Councilmember Hewland.
Aye.
Kling.
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
Southall.
Aye.
Marchant.
Aye.
Hey, we're going to go into closed session here in just a minute. If you'll just be patient with us, we will be back out here shortly.
Halloween.
is July 19th, and we are moving into council study session here. And I just wanted to thank our guests for being patient and waiting while we were in our 2 closed sessions. We apologize for that delay, but we had to get a few things done. Our agenda for tonight's study session is discussion regarding the reestablishment of the Human Relations Commission. We have some folks here joining us. All of council should have received a draft resolution that was written up by our attorney. It was emailed out on Sunday. It was based on Decorah, Burlington, feedback from our committee members. 3 main pieces of this committee and or commission is how to handle grievances. So that's important. And we want to partner with the Iowa Civil Rights Commission, and we will get a contract with them. We've had a conversation. They're willing to partner with us. Education, and then just any assessment. So I think if we can get this established and then start doing a few things would be wonderful. And we have some folks on the commission, so we want to give them a moment to chat, but maybe I'll just start with council. What do you think? Thoughts, questions? Human Relations Commission.
I think it's great that we're doing it. I like what was written. I know it'll be an ongoing process to a certain extent of feeling our way through it, but probably long overdue to get back in the game, so to speak. So I'm 100% behind what I'm seeing, and I think it's a great task. I'm glad you're all involved with it, and we're all involved now.
Yeah, I do too. And I did have somebody ask, when did this stop? And I said, I don't know. Do we have any idea?
We looked at, we have some meeting notes in 2000, like it was in the late 90s.
It was, oh geez, we did
Early
look at that.
2000s? There's a binder in my office.
It was early, like, I mean, it was literally like right at the turn of the century is when it ceased, but it's like, there was some inconsistent notes. I think it was 93 to, we'll pull that up and get that back, but it was.
It's like it faded into the
I
mist
just kind
or
of,
something.
yeah.
So, but officially then, because it had faded away and was defunct, when we updated in the codification project, then that was the defunct committees removed, which is why we have to go through this process to actually reestablish it, which is wonderful because it's provided us a great opportunity to work with community members, and thank you. It's fun to see you in live.
Yes,
exactly. But to get feedback and to maybe make its purpose a little more present than the previous one. So much appreciated. Thank you.
3 of those folks that have been joining us are here, and they just want to wave: Carolyn Dollinger, and Walter Lane, and Nick Holstaff. Thank you all for being here. Do the 3 of you have anything you'd like to say on behalf of this? Thoughts, comments? They've been active participants.
Great.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. I'm Carolyn Dallinger, and I am a professor at Simpson. So, and we came back to Indianola in 2003, and I think it was just going defunct about that time.
Okay.
So I can promise you that, but, and I've worked at previous human rights commissions around the country, so I was kind of attuned to it at the time. And I also was a student here at Simpson. So way back in that day, I also have known Simpson. Our daughter went to Simpson. So we're connected, but we don't live in Indianola at this time. But of course, we're very concerned about this area and with the students that we work with and engage in the community, have jobs in the community, and live in the community. So we just really applaud the work on this. And you know, I just think it's time to really kind of make this, it's such a powerful thing when the city knows that there's something there, that the council, that the city is concerned about these issues, because they do. As good as Indianola is, it has issues. The students have issues at times when they're out in the community. We hear about that on our end. So we just really applaud this going forward. So that's the most I can answer. Any other detailed questions if you have them, but I think it's pretty straightforward. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else want to chat? Okay. Other comments? Next steps would then be to bring this to council, so it could go on, yes, our first August meeting.
Mhm.
What is that for that date, is August?
I don't like to look at my August calendar.
For personal reasons, right? August 2nd?
I think.
Okay, yes, we can add this to the agenda on August 2nd to officially approve, or you can vote not, but I would hope you would vote for. Greta and I have really enjoyed working with the group, and
I think it's great. I really do.
And then once it's in place, we'll get people named to the commission.
exactly. Other comments? Other things?
It's good.
Okay, Ryan, you?
No, it's,
All right, well, then I think,
That's good.
Kind of anticlimactic after all of our.
Well, that's kind of quiet. I can't believe that.
Actually, that's what
He's on
happened.
mute.
That anticlimactic kind of happens because of all the good work that was done getting to this point. So
I say, yeah.
thank you
That's
all.
great. Okay, all right. Well, then I think we stand in adjournment until August 2nd.
Sounds great.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for
Thank you so
waiting.
much.
We appreciate it.